Hello, I'm Johnny Rowland, your host of the shooting show, and certainly my lovely wife Heather is also. You're darn near co-host now, aren't you?
Well.
Well, I tell you what, we do appreciate all the nice letters that you folks write to Heather, and certainly to myself and to my mother. We all appreciate it so much, your kind words. And friends, we're here today. I tell you what, another shooting show is on the air. If you're seeing us on television, well, we definitely have another shooting show on the air. We are indeed proud to be here. You know, it's a beautiful afternoon here in Louisiana, and we've had a little heat wave. Would you?
Oh yes, we have had a heat wave, 102 degrees.
Yeah, it's been 102 a couple of days this week here in Louisiana, and it's dry, and which is unusual for here. Of course, if we don't get a rain for about a month here, we think we're having a drought. In some parts of the country, like New Mexico, West Texas, or Arizona, places like that, think, heck, that's nothing to even think about. But here it is dry, but it's still a great day to be out shooting. You know what, friends? We enjoy shooting whatever we have, rifles, handguns, whatever. But right now, we can't tell you how long we're going to be able to do this. Not just on the program, but how long any of us are going to have guns left to shoot. This is no joke. Right now, we're under the worst assault on our shooting rights, not just hunting rights, but shooting rights everywhere we turn. You know, as we've said many times before, we believe the key is through television. The major networks will not sell the NRA. Major networks won't sell us. Even some of the smaller networks are so afraid of being politically incorrect that they won't sell time to a program like ours because we talk about the positive aspects of shooting. Now, that's the way it is. We buy our own satellite time, but you know what? Nobody in an office somewhere can say, well, Johnny, we don't like your show, like it happened one time a couple of years ago. Said, well, we can't have, you can't be criticizing the government, you can't be talking about gun rights. I said, why not? I said, well, that's politically incorrect. Said, well, we know that, and no, we're not going to stop criticizing the people that want to take away our constitutional rights. What's wrong with telling the truth? You know, I heard Rush Limbaugh say a couple of days ago, and I listen to Rush when I get a chance. He's pretty good sometimes, and he said that a lot of people had told him that how much more popular, or how much more accepted, not popular, but accepted, he would be if he just backed down a little bit on Clinton, or backed down on the government. And Rush says, back down? Well, somebody's got to tell the truth.
That's right. Somebody has to tell the truth.
Somebody has to. You know, friends, we could have stayed on the Outhouse channel if we had just backed down about telling the truth on what's going on with our firearms rights and what these socialists, these Marxists in our own United States government are trying to do to us. Now, this is true. We wouldn't be in the difficult straits that we are if we had backed down and had a nice little sporting show that would sometimes show a gun going off and show some nice competition parts. Well, we're going to throw up the little clay bird. We're going to shoot the nothing wrong with shooting clay targets. But friends, that's not what it's about. The Second Amendment is not about anything about hunting at all. It's about defending our country. It's about preventing a police state. It's about being secure in our homes. That's what it's about. That's what these people want to take away from us. And you know what? Some of us out there, and I know if you're watching this program, you're probably in agreement with us. Some of us are not willing to let them get away with it. So many of our fine conservative friends, and you know, I was talking with Larry Pratt the other day, Gun Owners of America, and Larry's pretty upset at the Republicans too. So many of us elected some Republican representatives who were going to go to Congress and change things. Well, after about 6 or 8 months, a lot of those Republican congressmen
caved in.
They caved in.
That's right.
They joined the bad old boy crowd. I don't think we want to call them good old boys. I think we can call them the bad old boy crowd. And they got converted over to whatever easy lifestyle or whatever else. Friends, that's not going to work. That's not. I don't know if it's going to take a third political party. I don't know what it's going to take, but I do know this. It's going to take more of us getting involved. If all of us just do what we can, if we just do what we can. We appreciate so much our good friend Frank Dean and Ron DeLong starting our shooting show newsletter. You see, here's a case of individuals doing something they could. We appreciate so much our good friend who is putting our shooting show on the internet. See, that's one individual that's doing that. It's just a couple of individuals, and of course I'm writing a column for our shooting show newsletter. You can get our newsletter through us here at the program. Right now it's $10 a year for a subscription. Right now. We're probably going to have to go up on that because of mailing costs, but it is a tremendous newsletter. And one, it will keep you in touch with what's happening to us. If anything happens to the program,
that's right.
Something happens to the satellite,
that's right.
That's an extra way. Also, if you tune in, just like we had satellite, something happened to our satellite a couple of weeks ago now, you can go to the internet and it will be posted immediately on where our program is going to be. A lot of people have said they like our signal better on Telstar 4 now, so it's a clearer signal.
That's great.
So we're indeed pleased about that. Friends, you know, we're here today in part because of your contributions. We have to ask for contributions simply because we want to stay on the air. We want to keep doing our job in educating people. And if you're out there and you haven't contributed to our program, but you like what we do, well, please think about it, because it's very expensive doing this. We certainly have part of our project is supported by our sponsors, but part of it is also supported by you, the viewer.
That's right. We
have to have your help to stay on the air. This is so important. Friends, we've got things coming this fall. If you want to buy guns, and we've got some deer flies and all flying around there. I think
we have an abundance of deer flies here today.
That's right. If they were just a little bit bigger, we could shoot them.
Yes.
And wood.
And we just might try that.
We have some gun, one little on my nose there, it's bothering me. We have some gun legislation coming up later this year. If I wanted any sort of gun, and I was contemplating buying it this year, if you don't want to be on the federal database, I'd go ahead and try and buy it, whether it was one of the Israeli 5000, Model 5000, or a Remington 700 rifle, or a Mossberg shotgun, whatever, because come November, the anti-gun people have got some real tricks up their sleeve, and everything, be it handgun, long gun, shotgun, doesn't matter, 22 rifle, is going to be essentially registered. They're going to have the description of the gun, they're going to have the serial number, and you're going to have to go through an instant check. And before too long, as we understand it now, if you send a gun in to be repaired by a factory or by a repair shop, guess what? They're going to have to do a background check on you before they can send you the gun back. Now this is here, friends. It's here. Now we have a conference that is going to be held in the state of Louisiana later this month. ATF's going to have it. And ATF's not even doing this. You know, they've taken some real hits. We've got some real problems with some of the people at ATF, but this is an FBI directive.
That's correct.
Coming from guess where? Coming from the White House, from the socialist Clintons themselves. They're the ones doing this. They're breaking the law, as we understand it, the 1968 Gun Control Act. See, friends, they can pass one law. It's never enough. They want another law, and it's never enough. And the NRA compromises, and it's never enough. There's always another compromise and another compromise. What about shall not be infringed is not clear. Explain that to me. What about the right of the people to keep and bear arms what shall not be infringed? What about that is not clear? Could anybody tell me what's not clear about that? Yet we're losing our rights. We've got to reach more people on television, friends. We have to. We can buy more satellite time if we just had the money. We can do it. We can get this program on more cable companies, promote it more if we just had the money. If you're sitting back and you have the money to spare, please, please, if you care about guns and the image of guns on television, please help us. Please help the shooting show. You can do it from the comfort of your own home, and you can send to the shooting show 327 Irvin Rowland Road in Dubberly, Louisiana. That zip code is 71024. Our phone number, if you'd like to help sponsor our program, our phone number is area 318-377-5189. You can find us on the internet, http://sshow.home.ml.org, or if you have the Yahoo search engine, you can put in quotation marks, shooting show, 2 words, quotation marks, and it will take you to a site where you can get to our program. So, friends, it's here now. and we're standing against this, please stand with us. We're going to open the program today. We have a great show for you. Have some more Fun Gun Weekend show. We're going to show you some neat stuff here from our good friend Bill Lewis. And we've got our target over here. You know, we shoot a lot of times up here at 100 yards.
Yeah, we do.
But we have one of our shooting show model dingers, our steel disc that we shoot, and our friend Bill Lewis wants to call that the shooting show dinger because it dings when you hit it out there. We got one over here hanging at 200 yards, and you know, that wouldn't be, we shot them for like this great Red Hawk here. But let's make it a little more interesting. I hope we have time. I think we're going to go to a feature on the Kimber today, and we've got a little, oh, would you hold that, please?
Sure.
Please. The little compact Kimber. And I tell you what, friends, this thing.
That's a terrific little gun.
And Kimber has not bought 10 cents worth, which they would, but still, credit where credit's due. This is as nice a little 45, or nice A45 as I've ever seen. Our good friend Chip McCormick was instrumental in designing this gun, and Chip, of course, is past champion shooter, builds some fabulous parts and fabulous custom guns, and the people at Kimber were smart enough to take the engineering expertise of Chip McCormick, and of course they've got some fine people themselves, and let me tell you, they've hit a home run with this little gun here.
Yeah, they have.
Now, we wouldn't normally take a compact, actually smaller than my hand, actually. We wouldn't normally take a compact gun and shoot very far with it, normally. But this Kimber 45, the compact model here, I think it's an exception. Let's move out there 200 yards and let's see if I can hit that target. Now, no, I'll admit, no, I can't do this every time. But you can do it a lot. So let's see if I can hit it this afternoon.
You'll hit it.
Stay tuned for more of the Shootin' Show after these important messages.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station.
Friends, here it is, the great Georgia Arms ammunition. Notice these ballistic tip nozzler bullets in this Georgia Arms ammunition. You see, this is equivalent to a box of 20 for only $7.95. Now, friends, that is a terrific price for essentially custom-loaded ammunition. Of course, for the plain full metal jacket, it is much less expensive. Here's another tremendous bag of Georgia Arms ammunition, 7mm Remington Magnum, 20 rounds, only $17.95, loaded with these premium Nosler ballistic tips. I tell you, this is custom ammunition at a discount price. Tell you what, friends, the good people at Georgia Arms do understand what's going on in this country. They understand how important our gun rights are, and they're supporting us on this project. The good news is you can get absolutely superior ammunition at discount prices, whether you have a handgun or a rifle. If you want to take that big hunt, you can afford to practice with your rifle as well as use that same ammunition on the hunt because they are so reasonably priced. These are some of the nicest people we have ever met in this business, bar none, and they're down in beautiful Villa Rica, Georgia. So please, friends, if you would, you can get a free catalog with a free phone call. That's as good as the deal gets. A free catalog, free phone call, 1-800-624-6861. Again, Georgia Arms, 1-800-624-6861. And please tell them you saw it here on our shooting show.
Friends, remember that Georgia Arms is adding new calibers all the time. They have, of course, now our 41 Magnum Defense Special that we developed here on the program. They're also loading the .454 Casull and some really other neat calibers now that haven't been available in the past. So you can get a free catalog with a free phone call. It's a tremendous new catalog. It's just the catalog itself is good reading. Call them 1-800-624-6861, and please tell them you saw it here on our show.
Now, friends, we're going to look at, in fact, one of the nicest small guns that we've ever had come through the program here. You know, a while back we had one of the Kimber full-size 1911s on our program, and it performed extremely well. Of course, the Kimbers are not as, say, inexpensive as some of the 1911s out there, but as far as quality and fit and finish on an out-of-the-box gun, they are as good as anything I'm aware of, and better than most. What we have is, it's literally, it just doesn't rattle like a regular old 1911 like we used to, and that concerned me a little bit because these guns have turned out to be exceptionally accurate for any semi-automatic pistol. Most of the time, if you have, say, like a government model Colt or Springfield Armory 1911 shooting at 25 yards, honestly what you're going to get is 3-4 inch groups somewhere there. And I will comment, the little Israeli commander size gun, the Model 5000, has performed as well as the full-size service models. But this little gun from Kimber is smaller than the commander size guns. We'll look at that in just a moment. It's called a compact stainless model. And honestly, from what we've seen, there's not a thing in the world you need to do this gun to fix it. Most 1911s, as they come out of the box from the major manufacturers, have things like front sights that will come out. If you shoot them, they'll come out, fly off. It took Colt 70 years to lower the ejection port so it wouldn't dent the brass on their guns, and I wish some of those folks would just be paying a little closer attention. The metal quality and all is real good on the Colts, but they just need to finish some things. But whatever, a lot of gunsmiths make a pretty good living out there just fixing guns from the major manufacturers. But what about those of us that want to buy something out of the box that is real good quality, that works like it's supposed to, that we don't have to take to a custom shop? I mean, what about us? People all over the country would like to see, you know, when you buy your automobile, you don't expect to have to buy it and then take it to a custom shop right away just to fix it where it'll work. And unfortunately, some of the major manufacturers, that's what you have to do to them. And on the Kimber guns, this one and the other one I've seen, I've talked to people around the country that have them. They are very, very reliable and fixed right when they come from the factory, and I think that's important. We appreciate our friend Richard loaning us this gun for testing, and when he told me he was going to send us a compact model, well, okay, well, that'll be a nice thing, something we'd like to show, but I'm not that terribly impressed most of the time with compact model semi-automatics. One, normally or usually they're not very accurate. They're not that comfortable. I just don't like the compact models as well to shoot and handle as the full-size 1911, which is the full-size and the commander models are my preferred models of the 1911. Well, I may have to change my viewpoint a little bit because this Kimber is such a nice, small, and compact gun. Now, what they've done in the compact model, they've shortened the grip some, and those of us with large hands, in fact, let's come in a little closer and take a look. I'll show you just what I'm talking about. As you can see, this gun is actually about the size of the palm or my hand, and we have a shortened grip frame, and such as on our commander, the Israeli gun. Let's put it right here behind it so you can see the difference. You can see it's about, maybe ½ inch or so, maybe ½ inch or so shorter than the commander size guns. Of course, I've got the magazine in this gun too. And also, it's a little shorter. Now, instead of a 3½ inch barrel, which some of the manufacturers make, this is actually a 4-inch barrel on this Kimber. And that means you're just not going to lose that much as far as ballistics goes. You're not going to lose that much velocity coming from a 5-inch barrel down to a 4, because you still got enough burn time in the barrel. The 45 ACP is a very efficient cartridge, and that's just not going. You're not going to lose enough velocity to even worry about. In comparison to the full-size 357 Magnum, see, it's quite a bit more compact than the 357 Magnum revolver. So this is definitely down in the class of the smaller guns. But let me show you something else. Since we're talking about, I was talking about the accuracy of the Kimber. Look what it has done at 25 yards. Here we have a 2½ inch group, and I need to adjust the sights. Of course, it's not my gun, so I'm not going to do very much in adjusting anything, but 2½ inch group here with 230 grain jacketed hollow point. Here's another 2½ inch group here with 185 grain jacketed hollow points, which is very consistent. And then we went back and shot one more group with the 230 grain XTP hollow point bullet, a high performance load, and it went 2 3/8 inches as far as group size. And I'll tell you what, from any semi-automatic, from any 1911, that is real good performance. But from a little gun like this, that is superior performance. Friends, these guns come with, of course, the magazine is also shorter than a standard 1911 magazine, about probably ½ inch or so shorter. But these guns are furnished with stainless steel magazine here with a shooting star follower, so you can get 7 rounds in the magazine, which if someone wanted to carry this gun cocked and locked, you'd have 8 shots available. And I was a little bit concerned about the grip. Certainly for my size large hand, it doesn't come that to the bottom of my hand, but I tell you what, it has the excellent extended beaver tail grip safety, and it's so comfortable. Let's watch a couple of rapid fire shots here and just see what it looks like in my hand this morning. Now see, friends, you didn't see very much of an upchuck there. It's easy to control. And something else I want to show you, rather than a barrel bushing, instead of a barrel bushing like on our standard 1911 like this gun would have, and yes, we have triple checked this gun to be sure it's unloaded, yes, we have a coned barrel. It doesn't actually have a bushing, and the barrel locks up directly into the slide. This is an accuracy trick that's been used for a long time by some of the custom manufacturers, and it really does work on this particular gun. Another, and we know, of course, this gun is empty. Another feature here is that the on some of the smaller 1911s, and you know who they are, the major manufacturers, the larger manufacturers, they have a plug here that many times will break, and your recoil spring will actually fly forward out of the gun. Some of those folks with the larger companies really ought to be paying attention here. You need to fix your guns. Okay, this gun has a totally different arrangement, so it has a captive recoil spring that's not going to fly forward. And I've had that happen on some of these guns, friends. When you lose your recoil spring, your gun's down. Forget it. You know, you feel so ridiculous, and you get angry at your piece of equipment. And some of those large manufacturers really ought to be paying attention. They ought to fix them. So anyway, this is a really nice custom setup here. I will mention that it seems like the edges have been softened a little bit. This is the machine work and all on these guns, and I was concerned because it is so tight, the barrel doesn't go down at all, which on most 1911s you got a little slop right here. You can mash your chamber down. Can on these Kimbers. I was concerned about reliability, but this gun has been so far. Of course, any semi-automatic can jam, but this little gun, like its bigger brother that we had on the program a while back, has functioned flawlessly so far with everything we put through it. Now, friends, looking at the little Kimber, you can see just how nicely these guns are made. You've got the smooth, easily concealed type sights, but you notice you have a real good set of sights. They're easy to see, and that is so important in good shooting, is having a good set of sights. I will remind you, it will take standard 1911 magazines. This is the shortened version, but it still holds 7 rounds because of the shooting star follower in the magazine. We've got 5, I think, loaded here. Let's just take a look and see what it will do. Here we go. Out here at our target, a few yards away. Okay, we just had 5 rounds in the gun. Well, let's go up and check our group there and see what it looks like. Now, admittedly, we're not all that far, but my goodness, friends. Let's see if we can clear that up just a little bit. Here we go. Looking through our gun cam here. Now, wait a minute, friends. That's 4 in one hole and 1 just a little bit away, and operator error there as far as putting it. That is, like I said, fantastic performance for any semi-automatic, much less one of these small guns. Get another look at this cone, the barrel here. See how it comes out, locks up tightly in the slide there. Just remarkable is all I can say. Just downright remarkable. Honestly, friends, this is such a remarkable little gun. In fact, of course, Kimber hadn't paid us 10 cents to advertise with them. I tell you what you might do. You might get Kimber's number there in Yonkers, New York, and you might call the front office there and ask them if, and regardless of whether they do or not, we still give an honest presentation on their guns, but I wish they would advertise with us. Some of you out there might call them and ask if they would. Let's run one more quick test here just to show the controllability of the gun. I'm going to place our target, say, right over here, and what we're going to do, we're going to shoot at a spot on the target. What we're going to do, we have our pro timer here from, and we'll give these folks a plug because they sent us this timer several years ago. We had one little difficulty with it after 3 or 4 years of operation, and we sent it back to them. They fixed it, sent it back to us, no charge. Competition Electronics, and they're in somewhere there in Illinois, actually, but they are a really good. The Pro Timer stuff has been so good by Competition Electronics. Their stuff has really been great. Okay, let's make a little spot here on the target. Something to give me a reference point, just a little spot there. And we'll go ahead and put the timer on. Turn on delay. Put it on my belt here. Okay, we'll take, we've got another magazine loaded here. And like I said, these little 1911s will take the standard full-size 1911 magazine. However, you just don't want to jam it. You don't want to bang it home because the magazine's taking the whole brunt there of the thrust. You just want to slide it in place where it'll lock. But that makes it good. You don't have to buy a bunch of the short magazines. You can use your regular 1911 magazine. Have a spot here, and I'm going to back up. We're going to do some rapid fire and just see how it runs today. In my hands, we'll time. I think we'll shoot 6 if I got 6 in the magazine. Yeah, I think we'll shoot 6, and we'll take the second shot number 2 through 6, which will be 5 shots, and we'll see how long that takes. So let's do that right now. Watch it in my hands in rapid fire, and we'll just see what kind of group we get as fast as I can run the gun here today. Get our timer on. Here we go. Okay, that was 6 shots in 1.27 seconds. We'll go ahead and unload the gun. Okay, and you'll notice what I did then. I had the gun like so, and I did like this. Never under any circumstances do you want to do that on a Glock, because the Glock's ejector could actually hit the primer on your cartridge there, and the thing might go off right here in your hand. It would absolutely ruin your day and maybe the use of your hands. So I'll do that one more time on the 1911s. You can do that on a Glock. Here's how to properly unload a Glock like this. Just let the shell fall out of the ground. You can pick it up, you know, just for safety's sake on the Glocks to prevent an accident.
Stay tuned for more of the Shootin' Show after these important messages.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station.
Now friends, here it is. This is the great 1919 Browning converted to semi-automatic from the good people at NWI. This is your chance to own a real piece of history. They're very collectible. They're also a lot of fun to own and shoot, and very reasonably priced, certainly for what you get. The 1919 Browning is from NWI. That phone number, area 503-429-5001. They also have the ammunition special still going on. 30-06 ammunition, only 18 cents a round, surplus in the belt. So give them a call today. NWI for the great 1919 Browning conversion. Also remember they have the A6 conversion with the shoulder stock and the bipod, but these are tremendous pieces of history, also great shooters. So give them a call today, the 1919 Browning from NWI, area 503-429-5001.
Now friends, I want to remind you that Tim also has some 50 Browning versions of the M2 that have been converted to semi-automatic. Has a limited number of these. You can call them now and reserve one for yourself, and trust me, if I wanted any of these fine conversions, machine gun to semi-automatic, I would not put it off, because who knows what the Clintonians are going to do next. So give them a call out there, area 503-429-5001. Please tell them you saw it on our show.
We got 1.27 of a second for 6 shots. So our first shot came at 23 hundredths. So I actually got 5 shots in 1 400 seconds. So that would be about 21 hundredths of a second between shots. And notice we have 5 here in this small area right here. We have 1 down here, but there's 5 shots right there, which that is surprising as far as the controllability. And we're not shooting, we're not shooting softball loads here. We're shooting real ammunition. And it's very controllable, and I see that as an important feature in a small gun like this little Kimber. All right, friends, let's try something that we rarely do through the camera here. Those shot stops are small targets out there. They're about 3 or so inches, and shooting through the lens of our gun cam here is not the easiest thing to do. but we're going to take our shot at it anyway because this camera is so accurate. Let's see if we can hit that shot sight. Realize that your target should be blurry. What you want to be clear is that front sight. That's what has to be clear. Let's see how it looks. Got our safety off here. See if we can hit that shot stop. Well, there it is, friends. I tell you what, now this is not the easiest thing to do. Let's try the one in the rear. Sure enough, well, heck, we got a few more in it. I'd say the little gun's doing real well. Well, I think we got one left. That was 7. I'll tell you what, friends, honestly, and see, those shot stops are pretty far out there. I'll tell you, it's a humdinger. Okay, friends, we do want to give, certainly recommend, if the 2 Kimber products that we have examined here on the program have been just as nice as could be with completely reliable performance. Realize that any semi-automatic can jam. All you have to do is hit one bad primer or one bad shell there, but as far as if you've got good ammunition, these are really, from our experience anyway, are about as good as it gets. So they are not inexpensive, but they're not terribly. They're in the range of where the first line Smith & Wesson, the first line Colt firearms are priced, and honestly, I'd have to take a hard look at this one because it is a 1911 that I can't find anything wrong with. So superior performance from this Kimber. And we'd like to have somebody like this advertise on our show because that's what we do on our program. We tell the truth. If we tell you here on the program that a gun is good or it works, well, that is to the absolute best of our knowledge the truth. And I tell you, Kimber is a company that some of the other American manufacturers really ought to be paying attention to because let me tell you, their pricing on their guns, their quality, their workmanship, I imagine they're gaining ground. They're probably going to sell these things as fast as they can make them.
Now, friends, we have a new sponsor this week. This is the Old West Mercantile store here in Bossier City, Louisiana, and these are some of the nicest people you could ever want to meet. They have a tremendous store, and you know, we support cowboy action shooting. It's the fastest growing shooting sport, and clothing is a very important part of that. And these folks have a tremendous selection of clothing and of gear. And let's go inside and meet Randy and Richie Towery. I think you're really going to enjoy this.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're standing here with a couple of fine gentlemen. We're at the Old West Mercantile here in Bossier City, Louisiana. And on your right, you see Randy Towery, and on your left, you see his son, Richie. And gentlemen, you got a great store here, and we really appreciate your efforts on behalf of our shooting show. Tell me something, Randy, whatever possessed you to get in the Western store business?
The cowboy action shooting, Johnny. We went to a shoot one time to see if we would be interested in participating, you know. And we got up there, and I guess you can say the bells rang and the lights flashed, and there's nothing like this type of store in the South, and so we felt like that we needed to put one in.
Well, it is impressive. And friends, we're going to take a look around the store in just a moment. Well, Richie, of course, you're also a cowboy action shooter, but tell me something. And we're going to be looking at some guns in here in a moment. You're going to show us just a couple of tips that you use, but how important is clothing in cowboy action shooting?
Well, clothing is almost everything in cowboy action shooting. The cowboy shooters always have to have something to wear these shoots, and we're here to provide that for them.
Well, it looks like you do have a tremendous stock, so let's look around the store and just see what you folks have. Now, friends, this is important because, one, they stock a lot of things that are hard to find. Now, that has been when a lot of people want to get started in cowboy action shooting, but besides cowboy action shooting, this stuff is also really neat clothing to wear on a daily basis, right?
Well, just like the outfit I have on, I'm wearing an 1800s period shirt with Wrangler jeans and regular cowboy boots.
And it's very practical and comfortable.
Exactly. They're extremely comfortable. Now, Richie here, he's wearing a period 1800 shirt, pants, and boots. And all of these clothes that you see here, Johnny, are authentic, cut from patterns that are actually in the Smithsonian.
Actually used then.
Right.
And they were as practical, well, they're certainly as practical now as they were then. Would
Exactly,
you?
exactly. And you can see that this shirt that I have on, this 1800 shirt, goes well with Wrangler jeans.
And whether you're on Wall Street or Main Street, I don't think it makes a lot of difference. I think we're seeing a trend of people going back to the Americana roots, maybe from a better time when we were more free and people were more concerned about what they represented. And I think this is a great thing. You know, we at the Shooting Show are 100% in support of cowboy action shooting because we see anything we can do that's going to impress or going to improve the numbers of shooters out there. And another thing, too, you got a lot of stuff for the ladies, right?
That's right. That's right. We have ladies' clothes. Matter of fact, I'd like to take this opportunity to say that we are in the process now of getting a new period ladies' line of clothing in.
Well, let's also tell them where they can find your catalog. You got your whole catalog on the Internet, right?
Exactly.
Why don't you give it the Internet address there, please?
That's oldwestmercantile.com. All small letters, no spaces.
So just oldwestmercantile.com.
That's it.
Well, that's great. We're going to link to, certainly off our page to yours. And I think this is exciting. One, a lot of you out there would like to get involved in cowboy action shooting, and we're going to be talking about equipment here, but the clothing is a major deal, and especially if you can get clothing that fits, huh?
That's right. That's right. And the clothing here, in terms of wearing it for shooting purposes, you're required, if you're going to cowboy action shoot, to wear the period clothing if you're going to compete.
Now, one other thing I want to mention, friends, the price line here, prices are reasonable. Now,
that's right.
We've seen catalogs and things, some of the Western outfits, and we say, my gosh, I didn't know they could get that for a shirt. But you folks really do. You're in business to sell stuff, right? Not to make a fortune on museum pieces. Right. You're here to sell something.
We're here for the cowboy shooters, and we think we have some of the best prices around.
Well, let's take a look through and just see what some of this terrific stock you folks have. And we also have a flyer. You've got a flyer from your catalog, and we have an 800 number. We'll be giving you that in just a few minutes. So you get a free catalog with a free 800 number. So that's the deal we like here on the program. So let's take a look here around the store and see some of the great things they have. Friends, let me tell you about the finest Western store west of the Mississippi River. It's the Old West Mercantile, located right here at 2576 East Texas in Bossier City, Louisiana. They sell a complete line of classic Old West style clothing for cowboy action shooters or for those who just like the look of the Old West. They have all sorts of custom hats and leather goods and boots and Western specialties. They have a full line of ladies' clothing, including Western wedding attire. They have guns and gear featuring authentic Colts and Winchesters and Rugers and Rossies and others, and even some black powder supplies. This is the place to find it all. If they don't have it, they'll get it. So take a step back in time and meet Randy and the family. For a free brochure, call 1-800-493-9972, or their website is oldwestmercantile.com. The coffee, Arbuckle, of course, is always on, and remember, they'll be your huckleberry. Now, friends, standing here with Richie. Now, wait a minute, Richie. This is a pretty sporty-looking award here. This is the men's fastest rifle, first place in the 1998 Comanchera days down in Fredericksburg,
Texas.
Well, now, I tell you what, friends, we have covered that match on this program before, and Richie, that's a pretty good accomplishment. That's a pretty big deal to win men's fastest rifle.
Well, I'm pretty proud of it myself.
Well, justifiably, you should be. Now, what kind of gun are you holding here?
This is a 92 Rossi, 45 long Colt. This is my personal gun. I left it at home today, but I do shoot a 92 Rossi myself.
Well, has service been good for you on that gun?
Oh, I love it. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Well, now, we mentioned a little bit earlier, you folks stock several different types. You have some Uberti guns, plus you have some Rugers here in stock, and I guess any of them will work well if you work at it and practice, huh?
Oh yeah, practice is everything. Be honest with you, though, I don't get that big of a chance to practice. The only practice I really get is at the cowboy shoots.
No, well, that was going to be my next question. How much, in order to win certainly men's fastest rifle, how much did you have to practice for that match?
Like I said, the only practice that I really had was at the shoots, and but I do recommend practice, and I need to practice a lot more myself.
Well, since we're here today, and this is something we're really trying to promote. Now, when you're shooting with a rifle, do you have any secrets or any hints or tips that you could give our viewers out there for getting on those steel targets quickly with your rifle? Any particular technique?
The only technique that comes to mind to me, Johnny, is keep tight hold to your shoulder and keep your eye on the front sight.
Well, when you're, in fact, if you would, just put that up to your shoulder. We know that gun's unloaded. Richie, I guess what I'm asking here, we see you have a proper pose here. You got your cheek down on the stock. For rapid fire, how do you go through your motion there?
Well, Johnny, just hold it tight to my shoulder, keep my eye on the front sight, and work the action.
Richie, I'll tell you what, we appreciate you folks taking time. We also appreciate your supporting our shooting show because, honestly, you folks do understand you're shooters. You and your dad are certainly in this fight to help all of us retain our firearms rights, and that's a big part of it, friends. You can support a business, a store here that really has shooters that own and run this business. They have a fabulous stock, as you've seen. And what do we have here, Richie? We have an 800 number that folks can call and get a free catalog. What's that 800 number?
That number is 1-800-493-9972.
All right, let's give that one more time.
1-800-493-9972.
And of course, those of you who are on the internet, you can go to their website. What is that website again?
That website address is at oldwestmercantile.com. All small letters, no spaces.
oldwestmercantile.com. That's about as simple as can get. We really appreciate you folks working with us. Remember, friends, we have to support these folks for them to help support our shooting show. So please give them a call on the 800 number, get a free catalog, go to the internet site there and see what all they have to offer. It is terrific. And Richard, we appreciate, again, being down with you folks today. And trust me, friends, it's a great store. And I know you can find something that you need, maybe a lot of stuff you need at good prices.
Stay tuned for more of the Shootin' Show after these important messages.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station.
Friends, we hope you're enjoying our program today. We certainly, of course, you recognize my good friend Leroy Scott here. We want to welcome the Old West Mercantile store as a new sponsor for our program. They're going to be with us for a while, and we hope it does well for them. We would encourage you, when you see their commercial, please give them a call and get one of those free brochures they have. They have a fabulous stock. That's all I can say. We really appreciate them. They're local, actually, and we're so glad of that. And you may notice on the monitor behind us up here, I don't know if it's on right now, but the Louisiana State University LSU Tigers are playing in the College World Championship baseball games. They've done real well. Heck, they've won it the last couple of years, I think. And anyway, you know what, friends? We, of course, those of you that are baseball fans, I think that we could have a tremendous spectator appeal for the shooting sports. And this is something that most of the shooting outfits have really not capitalized on. That's what we're trying to do, is showing the fun of shooting, because when it comes to my choice between playing baseball or playing golf or going out shooting, there's no contest. I'm going to go shoot my old gun every chance I get. We also want to mention to you, we have a tremendous, this is a picture of an original painting by our good friends there, Deborah Sutherland, with the Flying Horse Galleries, because they've been Flying Horse Enterprises. They've been in our sport group for a while, and somebody called me the other day and said, want to fly their horse somewhere. So we said, we said, no, we're going to change that to Flying Horse Galleries. And, of course, they're there on the internet. If you'd like to bid on this original painting, realize this is just a smaller picture of the painting. You can find them there on the internet, Flying Horse Galleries now. And certainly, if you'd like to make an effort toward helping us stay on the air, you can by bidding on this work of art there. I want to mention to you, of course, our Shooting Show newsletter is, the first edition has already gone out. It is a tremendous newsletter, and this is another way, you know, as far as the value of a newsletter, if there's any sort of change, like a satellite change such as we recently had due to no fault of our own or anybody else, it just happened, if you've got the newsletter there, we can get that out to you and let you know where we're going to be. Because we certainly want everyone who watches our program, we want to keep you as a viewer. And, Judge, I want to read something briefly. Now, we talk about the mess our country's in, friends. This is from the today's paper here as we're editing the June 4, 1998 Shreveport Times, and it has as a headline, and it has a directive sent to teachers from the J.S. Clark Middle School. The principal sent the following memo to teachers on April 9 regarding grade verification and the pupil progression plan. It says here that this is a memo from the principal. It says, please go back and change, adjust, modify, correct, or clarify any student's grade or grades that might place them in danger of not passing due to a very low average. Listen to this. During the first, third 9 weeks, if the student has shown progress, please help them. If these students are retained, class size will be tremendous on next year's circumstances there. Says do what the situation allows you to do. Now, Judge, if that's not social promotion, I don't know what is.
Well, sure, it's social promotion. Of course it is.
Now, friends, this is the mess we have come to. This is what the United States government has succeeded in doing to the educational system. You know, right now, and we want to talk about the mess we're in, the bureaucracies. There's legislation coming, and we're understanding now it's a done deal. And we're going to try and go down to a meeting here in Louisiana with, I don't know if it's with ATF or FBI or who, but there's some new regulation coming. And it's not from the ATF, it's from or through the FBI by presidential directive coming from the White House. If you send your gun in to be repaired, the repair shop or the manufacturer is going to have to do a background check on you. Although it's your gun, you already got the gun. That's here and there. Before they can send it back to you, they're going to do a background check on you. And if you don't pass, well, you won't get your gun back. They're going to confiscate your gun. Now then, Judge, have you ever heard of any wrong information being in a credit report or in a computer file? Have you ever heard of any wrong information?
Sure, more often than not.
Now, friends, how long does it sometimes take to get that information cleared up? Months, years even, sometimes to get it straightened out?
Sometimes years.
Guess what, friends? They're going to take your gun until you can get it cleared up, if at all.
Well, if they take your gun and confiscate it, it's gone.
It's gone. Maybe cut up.
I had a case here some years ago where a man was accused of having 4 illegal guns. Now, there's no such thing as an illegal gun. There is an illegal possession of a gun. But he was charged with having 4 guns that he illegally possessed, and I won the case.
But
the guns are not back, and they went through what they call civil forfeiture. The ATF or whatever government agency it was, it never even heard my motion to recover the man's guns. And in fact, years later, I finally found a judge that would pay some attention to it, and he said that he checked on it, and the ATF said the guns had been destroyed. I don't believe those 4 guns were destroyed. I don't believe that worth a damn.
You know what, friends? That's why we're here today, is to try and inform and educate as many people as possible. We appreciate our sponsors so much, but you know what? We also appreciate your contributions, because it is a combination of your contributions and our sponsors as to how we're here today. You know what we could do if we had the money, Judge? You know what we could do? We could buy more time on TV. We could reach more people. This is the only chance we have, friends, is to alert as many people as possible. We're getting crucified every day on television. This is happening. Unfortunately, the NRA, some of the other gun groups, a lot of the manufacturers simply do not have a clue as far as what has to be done. The major networks, Judge, they won't sell Charlton Heston airtime. They won't sell the NRA airtime. They won't sell the Second Amendment airtime on TV. Well, we can sell them time, but you know, it's funny. They got their own deal, and they don't see the need to work with an independent outfit like us. Well, so what? So be it. Okay, we want to stay on the air and reach more people. We have to, because if we don't get some of these congressmen in line, if we don't make a point with some of these congressmen, Judge, what's going to happen? We're going to lose it all, aren't we?
Yeah, and incidentally, I want to announce that Helen Chenoweth won her her primary victory. Now, she still got this character that came within a few hundred votes of her last time as a Democrat voting. She got 71% versus 29% for the other Republican, and he was trying to get Democrats to cross over and vote for him. I don't know what's going to happen. Idaho is really a Republican state, and I just can't see the Idahoans sending a Democrat to Congress.
A liberal to Congress. Well, friends, we're going to lose it all if we don't stand now. And you know what this means? It means the judge and I need to do our part. It also needs to be done on your part out there, wherever you may be. We're not asking you to go out and mortgage your home to help. We're not asking you to do anything that would put you or make you uncomfortable. All we're asking is that those of you watching our program, please do what you can. Please make those phone calls, write those letters. Please, if you can, help the shooting show stay on the air, friends. This has got to be done. We're not going to quit. We're not going to stop fighting. We're absolutely not. We need ammunition. The ammunition that we need is in the form of dollars. If you can help us stay on the air, please send whatever you can to the shooting show, 327 Irvin Rowland Road in Dubberly, Louisiana. That zip code is 71024. Also, many thanks to our good friend that's putting our program on the internet. You can find us at http://sso.home.ml.org, or if you have Yahoo search engine or the Yahoo search engine, all you have to do is put quotation marks, shooting show, 2 words, quotation marks. It'll take you where you can get to our program. Friends, we want to recognize our support group, our good friend Dennis Crocker, who is a firearms instructor there in South Carolina. You can reach him at 864-587-8722. And our friends Dennis and Jeannie Ritchie with Custom Leatherwork and Saddlery, all kinds of leather work there in Denham Springs, Louisiana. Their number is area 504-667-9225. And now we have Flying Horse Galleries, great artwork on the web. You can find them at www.flyinghorse.net. Our good friends at Camouflage Technologies, they paint gun stocks remarkably. Their number is area 909-674-6488. And our friend Wayne Bearden with Holland Guard Service there in Meridian, Mississippi. They do all kinds of security work. You can call them at area 601-644-3950. And our good friend Bruce Warren with BC Armory. He works on semi-automatic and revolvers, handguns. They're in East Leroy, Michigan. His number is area 616-729-5508. And, of course, our good friends at Clark Custom Guns here in Louisiana. Their number is area 318-949-9884. Friends, please remember our gospel show on Sunday morning now on Telstar 4, Channel 23 from 10 to 10:30 Eastern Time. Our radio show on the American Freedom Network. They're moving to SpaceNet 4, Channel 19, 5.82 audio. And please remember us when it comes to writing those donation checks, friends. We need all the help we can get. Thank you so much for being with us today. We'll see you on the next show.